Hello, my name is Tyson Freeze, and this is my implementation of Wordle using Java. So to start off with, I'm just going to run it and show you an example. So the board gets initialized, and we can type in a word to test and show you um, some tests. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on debug mode right here, so that way we can see what the answer is. So if I type in something like lattice, we can see the answer ends with an A. And so I didn't get it right, but every time there's a green, that means it's the right letter in the right spot. So if I type Spurs, I get nothing. No letters are highlighted. But if I type in um, plots, ILCL and T highlight yellow because they are the correct letter. They are in the answer here and here, but they're not in the right spots. So if I type in the right answer, we can see I get it right. Program ends. And if we go to the history file, we see that is recorded here as one of the winning words. We won that round, and the number of games I've played has increased by 1. So let's get into how it works. So all starts with the app.java with the main function. We start by initializing a board and a scanner for user input, and then we, while the game isn't over, continue to play. We clear the board, print it, or clear the screen, print it, print the board. If we're in debug mode, we'll print the answer. Then we prompt for a word, and then we record that guess with user input from the scanner. Once the game is over, we clear it, print it one last time, print the answer, because the user will want to know what the answer was, and then close the scanner and record the game, which is done here. We just use the scanner to read in the number of games played in games won from the history file right here, and then the winning words, and we go ahead and increment those by parsing out the integer and then adding to the winning words and then write that back to the file. So let's go ahead and take a look at the implementation of Wordle board. So we start out with, we have overloaded initializers here, but the most complicated starts with a file path, which is to a txt file with a bunch of words in it that we use as our dictionary. And then a size for the number of attempts you're allowed in the board, and then a word length for how long each word should be. We initialize a language dictionary with that file path and that word length. And that is very simple. It's a wrapper for a list. We go ahead and use that file path to read in all the lines and then filter out some words that no one wants to play with, things like acronyms or hyphenated words, etc. And then we filter, if we pass in a word length, we filter all of the words to be of that specific word length. And then we map them to lowercase because we want to be able to do comparison easily, and collect that into a list. And so once we have that list of words, we have several getters and then a guess function. So included in the Wordle board is an array list of strings, which represent the user's guesses. Initially, it starts out blank, an empty list. But as the user begins to guess, if it's a valid guess, meaning it's the right length and the word bank contains that word, it's a real word, then we add that string to the list of guesses. When we go back to the app.java, we can look and see how that information gets used. As we clear the screen, we do that here, and then we print the board, which will dynamically print the board based on the board's height and the length of the word, which we use here. We repeat the pipe delimiter, the length of the word. And so we are able to dynamically print the board and use print comparison here to print out with the appropriate highlights. So if it's the character in the right spot, then we print it and highlight the text green. And if it's the right character but in the wrong spot, we can highlight it yellow. Otherwise, we just output it as nothing, normal. And we just use ANSI color codes to do the highlighting. So I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like to do a board of a different size before we wrap up. So we can put out a 3. The word is pack. So if I do and pack, you can do any size. That's Wordle.